Welcome to Across the Gulf Coast, highlighting organizations, events, and people from around our local community.
Happy holidays and welcome to the December episode of Across the Gulf Coast. We've got another great show in store for you as we wrap up the year with a lot of celebrations and activities all across the Gulf Coast and into the new year. We're going to start talking about one here in Pensacola that starts off at the beginning of the new year, and it's also kind of the beginning of the Mardi Gras season as we transition from Christmas time into Mardi Gras into Carnival. And joining me to talk about that is Adrienne Maygarden and Mallory Wilson. They're from the Sacred Heart Foundation. Ladies, thank you both so much for being my guests today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So Adrienne, let's start with you. The Sacred Heart Foundation, I'm sure a lot of people out there know about Sacred Heart, whether it's the one in Destin or the one here in Pensacola. But tell us a little bit about the foundation and what your mission is, what you guys do.
Absolutely. The Sacred Heart Foundation was founded in 1984, and we are the fundraising arm of Sacred Heart Health System. Our mission is to bring charitable support and fundraising efforts to the entire Sacred Heart Health System from Pensacola all the way to Port St. Joe.
Mm-hmm. I guess a lot of people don't realize Sacred Heart's a nonprofit, right?
They are a nonprofit. We are a health system that is committed to providing care, compassionate care to all persons, regardless of their ability to pay.
So that's what you guys do, that you raise that money or have these programs for people that are unable to pay?
We specifically fundraise for equipment, for building expansions, and programs.
Okay. How can people get involved? Say somebody wants to be involved with Sacred Heart, whether it be through giving, volunteering, whatever way they'd like to help the foundation. How can they go about doing that?
There are so many ways to support the Sacred Heart Foundation. We have several signature events throughout the year that we are always looking for sponsors, for volunteers, for attendees. There's, of course, capital campaigns happening with the Studer Family Children's Hospital at Sacred Heart, as well as our expansion in Sacred Heart Hospital on the Emerald Coast, which is located in Miramar Beach. We're always looking for charitable support to help expand our services for all people throughout the community.
Yeah, you touched on it there with Miramar Beach and Port St. Joe and Pensacola. You guys really touch the entire Gulf Coast. You have your hands in, pretty much our whole viewing area.
Truly, we really do. We have a reach all the way from Mississippi through past Port St. Joe.
Wow. Yeah,
Yes.
so a lot of families impacted there. So
Very
definitely
much so.
a good cause for you guys to raise the money for like you said, the equipment and facilities. And one of those events, of course, is the Mall Ball, which I referenced at the beginning. And Mallory's here to tell us about that. It's always a very popular event. I know you guys always have a good crowd show up. So it's hard to believe it's Christmas. I'm already talking about January events, but that's how it goes nowadays. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, tell us what the Mall Ball is, and then kind of give us the generic who, what, when, where.
Well, the Mall Ball is the largest Mardi Gras event that is in Northwest Florida, and it benefits the Children's Hospital. It is a ball that takes over the entire footprint of the mall just about. We have food tastings and silent auction and three live bands on 3 stages. It's just atmospheric and wonderful. I mean, you called it a carnival earlier, and it truly is.
It really is. It's a great opportunity. Like you said, the Cordova Mall shuts down.
Yes.
The food's set up everywhere. Everybody's dancing, having a good time with the bands. And you get to see so many different people from all the different crews or just people from around the community. It's really, it looks like an opportunity for people to get together.
Yeah, you don't have to be in a crew.
Oh, no, right.
It's, an event for the whole community.
Yeah, it's fun to see the different costumes. So some of the people that wear their crew costumes, just kind of, and I just try to pick out which one is which crew they belong to. So what are the dates and how do we go about getting tickets this year?
Well, the Mall Ball is Saturday, January 27th. You can go on CordovaMallBall.com to buy your tickets. I think we're almost sold out of tables, but we have lots of individual tickets still left. We sell about 2,500 of those. So they make great Christmas gifts. If people want to go on and get them now, we'd love to have you.
So let's talk about, we mentioned the restaurants. Who are some of
Mm-hmm.
the ones that you guys have on tap for this year?
Well, we have some of our favorites coming back. McGuire's is coming
Mm-hmm.
back, and they normally do a big side of, I think it's a roast of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peg Legs is back, and they normally shuck a lot of oysters that night. We have a newcomer, Cafe Nola, out at the beach. They're going to come represent. One of our favorites that we go to a lot is Pyology at the mall.
Yeah.
Red Lobster's coming back. A whole bunch. We'll have about 25 all in total.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot. That's a lot to choose from.
Yes.
Is it big plates of food? Is it small plates of food? How does
There's
that work?
small tasting, so you can go back as many times as you want. We provide lots and lots of plates and bowls and silverware, but
Yeah.
you want to go visit them all, so they're going to give you just a little taste and let you move on to the next and go back to your favorites.
Yeah, and it is definitely worth it. Like you said, kind of finding your favorite. Maybe
Yes.
walking around, doing the lap real quick to figure out what you want to try.
Exactly.
You get your steps in, for
You
sure.
definitely get your steps in. There's no doubt about that. And that's before you start dancing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But speaking of dancing,
Yeah.
you mentioned the 3 stages. Who are the bands that you guys have this year?
We have our crowd favorite Stars coming back, and they're a big favorite over in the food court. They do Motown and 90s, and a lot of Bruno Mars and lots of dancing. I don't think anybody actually sits in the food court. Over in the Old Navy wing, we have the Astronauts, and they do 80s and 90s covers. They're a great band. They do a lot of local crew balls, and they're just awesome. This is their 2nd year coming back. And then we have First Timers still standing, and they're an Elton John tribute band. So we're excited to have them over in the Dillard swing.
Yeah, definitely a great lineup for food, for entertainment. You mentioned you're almost out of tables, but if somebody does want to sponsor, how
Absolutely.
do they do that?
You can email us on our website and get in touch with me, and I'll shoot you whatever information you need.
Okay, we've also got the phone number on the screen and,
Yes.
and the website and Facebook page and everything. So I think we can get them in touch with you. They want to buy tickets or
surely
do
hope
a
so.
sponsorship. And we kind of talked about, Adrian, you mentioned at the beginning, this is raising money for the Children's Hospital.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit, last year, I guess it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, time flies. There was the big announcement with the Studer Family Children's Hospital. Where do we stand with that? And give us a little update on that.
Absolutely. This is a really exciting time for children all throughout the Gulf Coast. About 2 years ago, we broke ground on a 4-story children's hospital wholly dedicated to children and their families. It is an $85 million project. Our parent company, Ascension, has gifted us $55 million that they are investing back into our community. And through charitable support, we need to raise $30 million to make this hospital possible for our children. To date, we're at $21 million. We are so excited. 9 more million to go. It is incredible. But proceeds from the mall ball this year are helping fund a wonderful piece of equipment. It is a state-of-the-art, the fastest CT scanner out on the market that'll complete a CT scan in 2 seconds.
Oh, wow.
It is completely dedicated, constructed, engineered for children, and it has this beautiful underwater scene that it makes the experience less frightening for kids. The speed, of course, we don't have to have sedation for our children, and all proceeds are going to this piece of equipment. And we are going to be expecting our first patients in the new hospital at March of 2019.
Wow, that's awesome. And I know a lot of adults, so I would like to use that CT
Yes!
machine as well.
You got 2 over here.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you coming on and telling us about Mall Ball and the foundation.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Absolutely. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll be in our Okaloosa County studio, joined by the MLK Committee.